Yeah.
Games that's come out on the Switch that are functionally just 3DS games. So, and they charge 50, 60. Hell, Link's Awakening, that remake, that game was a remake of
Yeah, exactly. Say something? Okay. about that. Why the stream? Okay, I fixed it. You there? Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Some reason my stream capture for my microphone was muted. I don't know why. I never did that. That's the thing about Windows. It just decides to do something. Feels like doing something. It just doesn't. It's like, I'm just gonna change everything around just because I feel like it. Um. Yeah, I think it was like an automatic update. I needed to shut my computer off. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, sorry about that. I think it's gonna be a short cast tonight. Super tired, super low energy. Not woke up. Woke up super early this morning. I woke up. It was one of those things where I was like, "Yeah, close. This is close to the time where I'm waking up." Uh, it's not gonna do me any good just lying here wide awake, and then it's just, So I just started up, getting ready. I think in the middle of the day, I started feeling really tired. So, um, yeah, it's just one of those things. But in any case, welcome to another episode of Project Console. Um, today's topics, we're gonna leave one topic out. And that's the Switch 2 stuff. Cause I think we've beaten that whole. Um, that horse is dead. It's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out 2025. If you're pissed off about that, well, go to Nintendo and complain. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear it. I'm sure that they'll, I'm sure I'm sure they will be happy to hear your complaints and block you on Twitter and ignore everything that you're saying. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. In any case, before we get into our topics, I'd like my panelist member to introduce himself. It's going pretty good. So let's get started with the topics. So people were upset over the weekend because there was a rumored. It's probably not even a rumor. It's probably gonna. This is the price that it's probably gonna be. Luigi's Mansion 2, which was a 3DS game and is being remade for The Switch is going to be $60. So I came across a video. It's a video by RGT, who talked about the Nintendo standard and how they don't really have a lot of standards to how they price their games. You had Metroid Prime Remake, which was $40, and then you had Super Mario versus Donkey Kong, or Mario versus Donkey Kong, which was $50, and now you have this game, which is $60. I won't justify the price of it, because I think that price is a bit too high. I kind of get it, because all three of those games, I'm sure Mario's pretty more popular than ever now, because the movie it came out last year, and just the fact that Mario does probably the best. It's the highest selling IP on Nintendo, so any Mario related game is, yeah. So I think their justification is, oh well, it's Mario and it's Luigi, so we can raise the prices. Same thing with Tears of the Kingdom. It's like, Breath of the Wild did amazing. It outsold the Switch for the first couple of months because people had a hard time finding a Switch. So I was like, oh, we can raise it to $70. Everybody else is, and we make premier games, and so why not us? We want to make money too, guys. So I definitely agree the fact that price is way too high. Same. That's how I felt about Link's Awakening. Price way too high. But if I still end up getting it. Probably gonna skip out Luigi's Mansion 2. Never was huge into the Luigi's Mansion franchise. But what are your thoughts on all this? Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. Yeah. The expansions? I think it was $20. Yeah. Yeah. It is. I mean, the Mario Kart stuff is pretty. For many people, it was just egregious, since there was a lot of. They had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch. Put a lot of stuff that was at least rumored to be in the Wii U version. Just put it over the Switch. Yeah. 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 What's that? think there's a lot of people that didn't get a 3DS that will probably pick this game up. A lot of their re-releases have sold particularly well when they've re-released or remade a game. Um, so they're just riding that train until it runs out of gas. Yeah, I mean certainly. Yeah, 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 yeah. That definitely agree. I mean, there's there's a difference between greed and making money. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, in any case, let's move on to the next topic. Nintendo Direct. So we talked about what was shown at the Nintendo Direct on Aircast, but but just a quick recap. No, not really anything all that surprising. Um, like this is the year. This is the close up shop year. This is you know you're gonna see remakes, remasters, and ports of older titles. Um, you know, I give it I give the direct at least maybe a C minus D. Um, what about you? What was your overall thoughts on it?
Um, if you already have a Switch, you're gonna have games to play from third parties. That's
Yeah,
basically what I learned. Unfortunately, a lot of those games are going to be on PC as well, so I'm not
yeah,
exactly, oh my god, I'm a gaga about this. I'm like, it's all right.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Um,
The one game I was really looking forward to is, what was it called? Uh, It was what was it? It was gonna be Unicorn Overlord.
Yeah.
That's gonna be on a lot of shit. It's not gonna be on it's gonna be on everything but PC. But I broke down and got that game on
PS5, Xbox.
no. I got it for the Switch, but I got the collector's edition for the Switch because it comes with a lot of extra swag, like a card game and CDs with 16-bit versions of the music from the game. But I'm probably gonna get it on PS5 and just not open that other one.
Yeah. Use a collector's edition. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Atlas. This is what Atlas used to do back in the day. Like Atlas would release and for not an extra amount of money, like they would do a limited run of their games, but they have all this swag. Like Persona 3 came with like a CD and all this extra shit. It was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was exciting? The Epic Mickey getting a second.
Yeah, I'll
chance.
probably get that, but it's coming to PC too. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
do I really want to get that on the Switch?
Yeah, I mean that'll be cool for people who missed out on that game. But yeah, I mean that was really about it. I mean the new Contra looks interesting to me. Or the remake of the old Contra, one of the old Contra games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they're making it, but I just don't like that art style. I wish it had been cell shaded.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So, a couple weeks ago, there was a memo that came out of Sony talking about a couple things, talking about disappointment of the PlayStation 5 sales.
Yeah.
It's not where they want it to be right now. And
Yeah, they want them Switch numbers.
yeah, they're looking at the Switch and it's like, why can't we have those numbers?
You want to know why? Because Nintendo has strong first-party games, whereas Sony has fanboys who say that their first-party games are amazing, but then don't buy them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the best shit ever. And you get it and you realize, oh no, it's kind of trash. Like, I'm going to say something that's going to make people angry. I liked, the first Spider-Man was fine, but it was basically a better version. It was like a prettier version of Spider-Man 2. It didn't really add anything, and the story was kind of fucking weird. They wound up making the Shocker the villain. I was like, that's kind of stupid. He's like a minor villain. And then the second one, we'll add Miles Morales. Sorry, I don't give a fuck about Miles Morales as a character.
Yeah, that's and they want to spread out their catalog to other platforms, probably mainly PC. So you're going to see a lot of PlayStation exclusives come out closer and closer within each other.
You mean come out on PC as well?
Yeah, it's gonna eventually. I don't think every game they make is gonna come out day and date, but like the live service stuff, like the one game that came out a couple weeks ago, sci-fi horror based game. What was that game?
Helldivers. Helldivers 2?
Yeah. Yeah, Helldivers 2.
Not unless those games bomb spectacularly, but the problem is that a lot of Sony first-party games Like I said, they don't sell. Like Sony fanboys like to talk about how good Sony's first party games have been, but third parties are king on Sony platforms, not first party
Yeah.
or even second party.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just don't understand. Like I'm getting tired of the blah blah blah, and this is that, and blah blah. I'm like, look, man,
It's a bloodbath.
Sony has a first party problem.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of money on their first party games and they don't make money.
Welcome.
Or they're barely breaking even. But you don't release a game to break even.
Yeah.
Like if you release a big project, you don't want to break even, you want to make money.
Yeah.
And Sony can't even do that.
Yeah.
And the new CEO ain't fucking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, we're gonna y'all better figure something out or I'm beating somebody's ass, is the look he has on his face.
They already fired like 900 employees apparently.
Oh really? I didn't hear about that. I knew they were firing some people. I didn't know they'd already started.
Yeah, they're cleaning house. They're it's like a lot of these tech companies are part of the bus cycle. They're draining all the cutting out what they deem, I'm not calling it, what they deem as the fat, and retaining as much capital as possible until the next boom cycle, and then they'll rehire, or they'll not rehire but hire a lot of people again. If there's a significant boom cycle, like there was during the pandemic, I don't think we're gonna see something like that for a while, but who knows?
You want to know the thing that shocks me, right? Is that all these CEOs are like, we're going to hold the parties responsible. Why don't you lose your fucking job? Why don't you cut your fucking pay? Like, why don't you do any of that shit? Why is it that other people got to lose their jobs? You bastards.
It's because they won't be able to afford the rent payments on their yacht or be able to pay their sugar babies. That's the reason. Freaking greedy, selfish pieces of shit.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, hey, wait a second.
But in any case, Sony's looking to go multi-plat. Sony's looking to pretty much go third party. And it's a new era. It's not the 90s anymore. Except if you're Nintendo, because Nintendo is keeping it down when it comes to their exclusive titles. They aren't going anywhere.
Well, Nintendo is always going to do their own thing.
Yeah.
That's Nintendo's thing. They will always do their own thing. All I'm going to say is this. I would be curious to see where they go with their next cycle. With Nintendo. Sony though, Sony's fucked.
Yeah. They need PlayStation more than Microsoft needs Xbox.
Yeah. But the problem is that Sony, here's the dirty little secret about Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft has never run a successful console.
No.
Don't ignore the hype machine.
Yeah.
They have never run a successful console. Microsoft hasn't either. Sony and Microsoft have never run successful consoles.
Yeah, they've never really been profitable. That's why that's why PlayStation has kept their consoles, at least the first couple consoles, out for like 10 years. It just wasn't, after a while, it finally got profitable.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the use? What's the use of having a console where literally the shit doesn't get profitable until 10 years in?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, could you imagine? Let's think about this as logical human beings. You have a product that takes 10 years, that takes, you don't get up, you have it out for 7 years, so you're losing money for 7 years to get it off the ground, and then it doesn't start to break even and become profitable until the last 3 years. That means that you still have spent 70% of the time on that device in the hole. You're never going to make enough money to get out of the hole that you started out in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it's then the thing about the 360 is that's smoke and mirrors. Because think how many people had to trade in their 360 to get a new one, or how many people had to buy a new 360 because the Red Ring of Death. So those numbers are extraordinarily inflated. Because because of the malfunction of the console.
Yeah. But don't bring that up because Xbox fanboys, no, the Xbox was profitable. I'm like, motherfucker, if you have to replace 50%, you have a 50% failure rate, because that's what it was. It was a 50% failure rate with the
With 360.
with the 360. Okay, they never turned a profit on on the original OG Xbox. They never turned a profit. They were going to turn a profit with the 360, but the whole half of this shit is failing because we rushed to get out to market because we thought our biggest competition was going to be the PS3, not realizing that the console that kicked both their asses was the Wii.
Yeah, it was a game.
Which was
two GameCubes duct taped together.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far, but the Wii was functionally just a GameCube.
Yeah.
It was a GameCube with motion controls and better graphics. It was a little bit more powerful than a GameCube. It was like a GameCube and a half. That's what's... Okay. Hey, it's a GameCube and a half. Oh, that's nice. That was the Wii.
Yeah.
Just like the Wii U was two GameCubes duct taped together. I mean, it was two Wiis. It was two Wiis duct taped together.
Yeah.
With an extra screen.
Yeah, essentially.
And then we got the Switch, which is like a Super 3DS, but with none of the extra functionality or features.
Oh man.
I know I'm making some Nintendo fans angry as hell when I say that, but fuck them. That's terrible. That's terrible. Forgive me. I just have total disdain for people who can't acknowledge faults that things have because they fanboy or fangirl so much out that you can't say anything. Nothing can be said that's negative at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, Sony is they're special. And the thing is, like, before someone says, "Oh, you're just a Sony hater," I'm gonna keep it 100% with you guys. Back in the day, if you wanted to know what my console build up in my house was, it was this. I wasn't a PC gamer. It was first Nintendo, second Sony. I got Nintendo for the first party games. I got Sony for the third party game.
Yeah, PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Those two eras were great for, in my opinion, when it came to Sony making a console. Also, those I did have a N64 and I had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
As well. So, yeah, I mean it's like the PS3 was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great.
Yeah, the PS3 became very westernized. Like during the PS3 era, Sony became very westernized and they stopped supporting the Japanese developers like they used to. So Sony wasn't as enjoyable as a console maker at that point. To me. To me.
Yeah, yeah. PS1, PS2. That's when Sony allowed a lot of more experimental stuff
Yeah.
on their
And they
console.
supported Japanese developers. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I played Sony consoles to play Japanese style games.
Yeah,
JRPGs and quirky games that you would not get on an Xbox. Xbox was the Dude Bro console. Sony was like JRPGs, and Nintendo was Nintendo.
yeah,
And now it's all flipped. Like Sony, like the Switch is basically the PS Vita, along with Nintendo shit. And Sony and Microsoft are virtually fucking indistinguishable between the two.
yeah. The thing about the OG Xbox, it was like the Dude Bro console and the Dreamcast final resting place. Because a lot of Dreamcast games reported to that console, as well as other consoles, but stuff like Jet Set Radio. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, those two areas of Sony were great.
Great.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, they were great. And then they
yeah.
fucked it up halfway through the PS3. So they were like, we gotta appeal to the Dude Bro crowd. And they started making Dude Bro games.
Oh man, the PS4 was just boring. It's just lackluster.
Yeah, yeah. The only good thing about the PS4 was the backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
That was it. Like that's the only thing I could say. Well, this was good.
yeah. I, uh, yeah. I mean, that was the beginning, pretty much, of a lot of games just going over to PC. That's when I started. Actually, during that era, PS4, Xbox One era, is when I started getting into PC gaming. Because I was just kind of like, well, I could buy another console and pretty much start all over again, have, or get a, relatively capable computer and be able to play all the games that I already own on Steam because, a great deal of them had trouble running on a laptop I had that had integrated graphics. So that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah,
I
for
guess.
me, one moment, please. For me, I didn't get. I'll be right back. I gotta make a.
Okay. In any case, yeah. So, yeah, my thought process at the time was, P. You know, when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out, I think it was either maybe no, it was after. I think it was after. Um, it's like I could either just save up for a PC and get a relatively decent computer, or I could get a console and not have anything to play for a while. Get like one game.
Yeah, for me, like we had a PC and I played games on it, and it was moderately. It was like a student PC, so it could do a little bit of everything. But for me, the thing that basically made me push me back into PC gaming because we had a PC like way back in the day, and I could like play basic stuff on it. What got me back into PC gaming was Steam started to finally get good, and those Steam sales were like, oh god, I can buy this game that like if I wanted to get it on a home console, it would be exorbitantly expensive or hard to find, but I could just download it whenever I wanted and play it as much as I want. Oh my god. And I also started getting an RPG maker where I could make my own games and stuff. And it was like, well, shit. If I can do that, what the hell do I need with this other shit?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Any case, Oh, free topic. You have any free topics you like to talk about?
Yeah, Nintendo is suing the makers of Yuzu.
Oh, not surprising. Not.
Yeah, they're like, there's no way to legitimately use Yuzu because of reasons. And the only thing I have to say is, fuck them. Now I don't use Yuzu, but the way I feel about it is, if you buy a game and you want to rip it and play it on your PC, I should not have to, like, you know, I shouldn't have to. Once I buy the game, I should be able to do whatever the hell I want to with it.
Yeah. And a lot of those games look immaculate if you have a relatively powerful enough computer. And Yuzu, especially like Smash Ultimate, when it's buttery smooth, looks fantastic. Same with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, looks amazing, especially like with the performance and graphic enhancement mods. Looks absolutely, it's absolutely amazing. So, I just like, okay. I mean, I guess I don't get it
Like,
at this point, but
they want to control everyone's. They want to control how you play your games. And I'm like, look, what the fuck do you care? Because here's the thing: most people, if they're gonna buy these games, also have a Switch. So you got your money there. And plus, they're buying the game, so you get your money there. Why the fuck can't people do whatever the hell they want to? If people want to buy a Switch game and take the cartridge out and shove it up their ass, they bought it. Yeah, it's like, once you buy it, once they get their fucking money, leave people alone.
yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it. But it's like it's not even they. I don't know. I mean, we could go into the weeds and talk about ownership and what ownership is, but at some point, it's just kind of like, what you know, you bought the product, you sold the product to somebody. They should be allowed to use the product
Yeah.
as they wish.
Let,
Like,
let me put it this way, okay? You are like, when you buy a game, you're basically getting a physical copy. You're getting the physical media of the game, plus you're getting the digital rights to the copy that's on that disc, or whatever media that is. You're getting the right to play it. So once you give them the money, you have the right to do whatever the fuck you want to with it.
yeah,
People should be able to take a game and upload it and play it on the computer if they want to. They bought the game. Like, why the fuck do you care what they do with it once you got your money? Now, if they're taking it and hacking it and selling it, okay, that's a problem. But if they want to play it themselves and play it with a trainer on it, that's their business.
yeah,
Like, why are they so much up their own ass about what people do with their consoles? I don't understand that shit.
yeah. I'm against pirating Switch games, but all the Switch games I use on Yuzu are games I personally own. So I don't pirate any of the Switch games. If I want to play it on Yuzu, I'll buy it and just rip it from the Switch and play it on my computer that way. So that is how I'm. That's how I do things. Everybody agrees with that. Some people have their own arguments, like, Nintendo is just negating customers by locking their games to their platform. I don't agree with that
No.
argument at all.
That's not the argument I'm making. The argument I'm making is,
you're making that argument.
Yeah.
There's no people that made that argument.
they can make that argument, but that's not the problem. Is that if you buy something, that's like a car company saying, "Hey, you bought this Mustang. You can't customize that Mustang after you buy it." It's like, but I bought it.
Yeah.
You're telling me I can't?
The way a also the way cars are, they kind of already do that. Like you have to get special permission to like change up.
No, you can't resell it. But if you take a Mustang, if you buy a Mustang and you customize it, right? You customize the shit out of it. So the fuck what?
Yeah.
Now that's not to say they might have forms of DRM, like the equivalent of DRM, where it's like this part, if you change it out, it decreases the value, or it's not going to run quite as well. But if you have a mechanic who has a 3D printer, that don't matter.
Yeah, or the computer in the car will probably freak out.
No. If you have, because I have a member of my family who, this guy is a naval mechanic. He's a retired naval mechanic. And he gets the Shelby kits for like $30K, the basic Shelby kits for $30K that like Ford will sell you for $90 to $100K,
Yeah.
and he'll build it for people for like $50, $60K.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So my point is this, okay? And if you want like the custom Shelby, like the really high end pro version, it's like $150 for that if you go through the dealership. But he'll do it for like $80, $90. But my point is this, right? If you take a car and you customize the shit out of it, that's your car.
Yeah.
If you pay someone to do it, like the car company can't come and say, we're suing you for customizing this. That's what Nintendo's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, video games are weird. They don't it. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm sure that's gonna be all over the news tomorrow. When did this drop? When did this?
It just dropped. I just found out about it today.
Oh boy, the internet's gonna go freaking.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're suing Yuzu. I'm like, okay, so what? You sue Yuzu. You don't think there's gonna be other emulators that are gonna come out? That are going to find a workaround. And plus, like I said, Sony tried this shit back in the 2000s against Bleem. And the only reason they won, Bleem won the case, but they didn't have the money of Sony.
Yeah.
What this shit boils down to is that they want to control how people, they want to control how you play your games. And I'm not comfortable with a company telling me how to play my games.
And it's not like the Switch is doing. It's not like the Switch is,
It's first year. It's second year. It's going out the door. It's leaving next year.
Yeah, it's on its way. It's on its way to even possibly outsell the PlayStation 2, which everybody thought that was an impossibility.
Well, let's see. The PS2 sold what, 150?
I think so.
So the Switch is at like 130 right now. So it could do it. It might not. It might break even. It might just barely eke it out. I don't really give a shit, okay? Yeah. My only thing is Nintendo has just like, they need to quit with this shit.
Yeah, the debate.
It's like, oh, well, they did this. I'm like, look, motherfucker, it's their game. People spent their money. They can do whatever the hell they want to with it.
Yeah, the debate, oh man, Twitter, social media is going to be raging because we know people that are highly against emulation, thinks it's completely, you're butchering the true intentions of the artist of video game. Which I'm in agreement with you. Video games aren't necessarily art; they are product. Obviously, they have artistic elements that go into it, but they're a product at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So people need to chill with that.
It's like, oh, this is a form of art. No, it's not. Because look, art is something that artists are greedy, etc., etc. They want to make money. They want to be paid for what they do. I totally understand that. But art is also like, an artist has something that they have something that they want to say. Through the means of art, right? That is what art is. It's someone making a statement about something using, their artistic talents. A video game is a commercial product.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Now, are there aspects of a video game that can be artful? Yes. but ultimately it's something designed to sell.
Yeah.
Okay, like real artists will make an artistic piece, and they do it just because they have like a poet will write a poem and never publish it. They just wanted to write it because they had something that they wanted to say.
Exactly.
That is what a true artist is. A writer writes because they just want to write. It has nothing to do with the... Now, if they write something and it happens to be commercially viable, cool. But initially, it's because of, hey, I have something that I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have movies, music, and even video games that can straddle the line between being both an artistic endeavor and a viable commercial product. But that's typically not always the case, especially when it comes
Yeah.
to video games.
Yeah, quit all that shit.
Yeah, so I can already hear certain people that we used to associate with freaking out.
You'll have to tell me off air who the hell that was, because I don't remember. But my point, look, all I'm saying is this: video games are a commercial endeavor. It's a business, and I understand that. I understand people like, well, blah 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 blah. It's a business.
Yeah.
It exists to make money. No one is in business. Look, I'm going to let you know a dirty little secret, okay? Even nonprofits have to have balanced books at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay? Even a nonprofit, except whatever profit is generated is reinvested back in the business. So that's why if there's a nonprofit and they're like, oh, we made X amount of dollars. Okay, cool. You're never going to see like, oh, well, they made X amount of dollars. Yeah, okay.
Do you want to buy a new car?
Yeah.
It just gets reinvested.
Well, Mudahar just uploaded a video. That's the about Nintendo getting sued by Nintendo.
You mean Yuzu suing Yuzu?
Nintendo suing Yuzu. Sorry. That's gonna be fun. You're gonna have to watch that later. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun couple of days because people are gonna lose their minds. Anyway, so is there anything else you'd like to say about the situation?
No, that's it. I was just gonna say that.
Okay, so PlayStation VR is rumored to come to PC.
Yeah, makes sense because it was so successful on the PlayStation.
I think it's probably going to be more successful on PC because it's going to be the cheapest
Nah.
headset. You don't think so?
No. Because think about it, man. If you have a gaming PC, because in order for you to run a VR rig, you have to have a gaming PC, a decently spec'd gaming PC. Anyone who has a gaming PC, why would you like? They already if you're into VR, you already have a better VR set than PSV VR.
Yeah.
So why would you go down to a cheaper one? It doesn't make sense.
I'm just saying if you were interested in if you were mildly curious in VR but didn't want to, spend the money for the HTC Vive, then
here's what I'm going to say to that. If you're one of the people who doesn't want to spend the money and you don't have a PC, because if you don't want to spend the money, you don't have a PC that's really kitted out for VR, then you're going to get a downgraded version of VR that's going to suck anyway. So it's a catch-22.
I've actually heard decent things about the PS5 VR.
Yeah, but the PS5 VR is designed around the console. If they port that experience or that architecture over to PC to play PC games in VR, it's basically gonna be like it is for normal VR, which is it's all built upon how good your GPU is and how much RAM you have. If you don't have a decent GPU and you don't have decent RAM,
All I'm saying is there's probably, I'm not going to say it's a huge amount of people.
yeah,
I'm sure there's an amount of people that would be willing to shell out $500 to at least get a taste of VR rather than $12, $13, $1,400.
oh yeah, they'll get some some help, and that's cool. Me personally, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't think it's going to do much because, like, it's not like VR is banging. Even the people who are good at doing VR it's not doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Sure.
so I just don't. I don't particularly see this being like this. This sounds like desperation because, as we all knew, VR was not gonna every 10 years or so, every 10, 15 years, VR could be like, because it started in the 70s, then it came out in the 80s, then the 90s, then the aughts, and now yet again. Look, VR isn't going to be a thing. People like the shit that people like doing things the traditional way. All right.
I don't even think it's not necessarily it's gonna be a thing. It looks silly. Like it looks silly wearing that equipment on your head. Like
All right. Not even that. It's just people like doing things the traditional way. Okay. It's like, okay, like IBM. Oh wait, hold up, something. Someone sent me some shit, faxed me some shit. IBM basically made the what's it called? They made the QWERTY keyboard. That was them, right? There's a reason we haven't really. Yeah, they came out with the Azerty version and all the other shit. There's a reason the QWERTY keyboard has stood the test of time. Because it's the best way to type. You know, people haven't reinvented the fucking wheel.
Yeah.
They may have refined it, but they haven't reinvented it yet, okay? Because it works, okay? People don't want... Look, I know these tech heads and these fucking future files. Well, the future's gonna be this, and VR, and touchscreens, and holographic, and 3D. Shut the fuck up, okay? All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, listen. Okay, look. People ain't got that type of money. Developers ain't got. The people making these games don't have the money. Look, I look at the sheer amount of interesting games where they're like, oh, but it's only VR first. I'm like, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with that. I realize how you feel about it, but guess the fuck what? It's expensive. There's in economics, there's this thing called the experience cost. For everything that you do, there's something else you gave up in order to get that thing. So, is that worth it? Okay. So, for example, let's say hypothetically speaking, let's say I go to the movies, right? Okay. And like I go watch a movie A, and I could have been watching movie B. Both experiences are a movie, but I might have enjoyed movie B better.
Yeah.
The experience cost is I wasted time watching a movie I didn't like, or I could have spent time watching a movie I did like. There's always a cost to every option, okay? So Like, these people who are spending their time hoping for, some mystical, magical VR is going to save, is going to make gaming interesting. Like, all these people just keep on hoping that something's going to come around and make them interested in gaming. Not coming to the simple fact that maybe gaming the gaming isn't for them right now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're too old to be gaming.
Too old, too cynical.
I mean, maybe, like, I find myself, I got Power World and I played it. I'm like, it's fine. I don't know what the big deal is. It's okay. I'll wait till more mods come out that can make it more interesting for me. And that's it. And I went back to go play some old shit that I enjoy, like Guacamelee 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I feel glad to support the developer and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's an interesting. The game's interesting, but there's just other things I'd rather be doing right now. I'll be honest.
It will be better. I mean, Power World will be better once there's some mods for it. Once there's some mods for it, it's like mods that make it really interesting. It's going to be a fun game. I'll wait.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. I'm going to wait until that shit comes out. Now, the other issue is that, like, shit, like, there's shit that I used to be really interested in. I'm not interested anymore. There's shit that I used to be like, oh, that's amazing. I don't care anymore. Folks, don't pray that they're going to bring their shit together. Just sometimes shit will come back around and be interesting. Like, I thought, man, like, I'm of the age where I grew up with the Fox X-Men show. Started in 94, ended in 97. Or 93 and 97, okay? Now, that to me, like, and even looking back, like, I've talked to historians, it's like the second best animated series of all time, of that time. You know what and people are like, well, what was number one? Here's what beat it. Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Yes! The Fox X-Men show was that fucking good. Even though the fifth season was kind of trash because Fox got cheap and put all of the animation in the Philippines, so the animation quality went way down. It was still interesting, okay? Now, and it did all those storylines that those shitty ass Fox Marvel movies couldn't get, X-Men movies couldn't get. They did really well on the X-Men animated series. Dark Phoenix, Days of Future Past, First Class, all that shit. So much better in the animated series. The theme music was better. It was just much better than any of the shit we got on those shows. And I was like, man, we're never going to get that back. They brought it back.
Yeah.
They even got the theme song, okay? So you know what? Sometimes if you wait long enough, it'll come back around and shit'll be good again, okay? But hey, if it doesn't, you still have the old shit. Star Wars has been shit for years now.
Yeah.
You want to know the best part about the prequel trilogy? The end, where Hayden Christensen gets the shit burnt out of him, and they put him in that suit. And at the end, he's like, Padme, she's dead, Lord Vader. No. When Hayden Christensen's character dies, and they get James Earl Jones with the voice thing, that's the best part of that movie, because I don't have to hear his fucking whining and I hate you, I will, and then shut the fuck up. You're a shitty character. Look, only George Lucas could take one of the most iconic villains of all time and turn him into a shitty loser.
Yeah.
But we thought, oh man, that's as bad as it can get. Surely it can't get any worse. It got worse.
Yeah.
Because Disney bought Star Wars.
Ladies and gentlemen and children, you never say that.
It can't get worse. It can't get worse. It got worse. Yeah. Let me explain how bad it got. Star Wars got sold to Disney, and Disney made a trilogy of movies that's worse than the prequels.
Yeah. Think about
worse.
Think about how long people just took a big old nasty dump on the prequels for years. for years.
Yeah. They made a trilogy that makes people look at the prequels and say, actually, it's not that bad. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, like the first prequel, The Phantom Menace, is like a movie that 80% of it, you don't know where the fuck it's going. And only in the last, like 10%, the last 10 minutes of the movie, do you figure out, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. This is telling about the fall of the Galactic Republic and how Palpatine came to power. Okay, all right, why do we have to go through 80% of this shit to get to this? I don't know. All right. The Clone War, Attack of the Clones. Okay, it's got some interesting. It's like 5 movies spliced into one. Part of it is an espionage movie. Part of it is a gladiator movie. Part of it is a war movie. Part of it is a comedy. Part of it is an explanation as to why everyone's like, man, who do you think you are, Yoda? And I was like, yeah, I mean, he's a little old man. He ain't gonna do shit. And then you see him finally fight, and you're like, oh shit! Oh, he's actually really powerful. Never mind. I'm gonna stop talking shit about that little old man with the stick, which we should have known because George Lucas is heavily inspired by Chinese and Asian cinema, and we all know those tropes in Asian cinema where there's the old hermit. He's like, yeah, you ain't gonna do shit, old man. He's like, actually, the old man's like really fucking powerful. It's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said anything. Same thing. And then we had Revenge of the Sith, which is that whole movie should just be called, okay, he's turning into Darth Vader now. And you find out that Darth Vader's kind of a piece of shit. I mean, we knew he was a piece of shit, but we didn't know he was that much of a piece of shit. Here's what Anakin Skywalker did in becoming Darth Vader. He went into a school and murdered a whole bunch of children.
Yeah.
He also went and murdered he used the Force on a whole bunch of civilians. Mostly unarmed civilians, the Trade Federation members, because they would have told, well, the person who was telling us to do all this shit was Palpatine, was Chancellor Palpatine. He also force choked a pregnant woman, not any pregnant woman, his wife who was pregnant with twins.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that bad when Obi-Wan Kenobi cut off 3 of his limbs, fucked up, and let him get burnt up on Mustafar. I'm like, you're kind of a piece of shit, really. I really don't feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
like had I never seen that, I would have been like, oh, I just feel sorry for this man. He tried to save his wife. But it's like, you're kind of a piece of shit, really. You kind of had it coming. You can't, I mean, you know, look. Here's what you learn in the prequel trilogy. Even though Luke saved his father and turned him to the light side of the Force, there was no happy ending for Darth Vader. He was not going to live happily ever after and see his grandkids, except as a Force ghost, because he was a piece of shit. He did some horrendous, fucked up shit. And you don't just ride off into the sunset. Oh yeah, I murdered tons of innocent people. I was a slave, but I enslaved people who didn't deserve to be enslaved. Okay. And then we had the Disney trilogy, which once again made the prequel trilogy make people look at the prequel trilogy and be like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. It's like the stuff I always bring up. It's like, especially talking about the action scenes, it's like you couldn't even get the spectacle of Star Wars right.
No. Well, you have to remember something. You have to remember one big thing. J.J. Abrams did 2 of those movies. J.J. Abrams can't shoot an action scene to save his life. To save his fucking life. Neither can Rian Johnson. Yeah. Neither one of those people can shoot an action scene. They aren't good at shooting action scenes. They can't do it. So, you know, I wasn't expecting a lot of quality out of that.
No. In any case, that was my free topic.
All right. I guess that's the end of the cast.
Yeah, that's the end of the show. Give your sign off and we'll close the curtain.
All right, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Buster. Stay tuned tomorrow where I'm going to be talking about some shit that's actually kind of interesting to me. We're going to talk about. I'm going to give my thoughts on Madam Web.
Oh, you saw that piece of shit?
I did, but I got paid to go see it, so it's not that bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, had I not been paid to watch it, I would be mad. But the fact that I was paid to watch it, I don't feel that bad. I made $50 to watch it and then write a 3-paragraph review, so I don't get. Look, man, if you're paid to give a review, you review what you're paid to review.
Yep.
It's Now, had I not been paid to watch this, I would be very upset. But since I was paid, I can't get mad. But and then we'll also talk about some other video game topics that I think might be interesting. And that's about it. I got nothing else to say. So that's it.
All right, this is Kenoshi Bonita here with another Project Console. See you guys next week, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and have a good week. Have a good weekend.